One
did.
more year of this.
Okay. Welcome,
Hello,
everybody. We are
everybody.
live. Yes. Why don't you introduce us this time, Sam?
I will do so. Hey, everybody. I am Sam Shukavage, and with us, as always, is my father, David Shukavage, the president of Carolina Retirement Planners. And behind the scenes today, we have Amy Dresky, and along for the ride is Kristen Owen training here. So we have these two ladies making the magic happen, pushing the button, integrating the behind the interwebs. So welcome to our happy half hour today, where we bring to you half an hour on some kind of financial topic, and we try to make it a little bit interesting as we bring in the weekend.
That's right. And we are approaching another weekend here, and a night as it actually begins to get honest to God warm, you know?
Yeah,
So,
it's a little little crazy outside, but still very beautiful. We've been had an actual spring this year. It's been very nice.
yeah,
And
it's been
what are we talking about today, Dad?
well, today we are going to talk about the wisdom of Warren Buffett.
Ah,
Going to be and I found a lot of really kind of interesting details. You know how it is, the more you read Wikipedia, the more you learn. But Warren Buffett, I think, was a really interesting guy from day one, as we will see. So, but
I have a question. Is he related to Jimmy Buffett?
I didn't look closely. He could be. He could be. Yeah.
a distant cousin.
Distant cousin. Was Jimmy Buffett's family from Oklahoma?
I don't know.
I thought they were from Margaritaville.
I was just thinking Key West and
I
don't know where they're from.
I remember that. He was born and raised in Margaritaville.
Like toes in the sand and who knows what else.
Jimmy Buffett, he's got some good books too. If you've ever read any of his books, he's written some good books, and I've never been to one of his concerts, but they sure sound like fun.
I always wanted to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert.
I have to say, I agree with that. I've always wanted to go. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's like that music that's like, okay, fine. But I hear his concerts are phenomenally awesome to attend and great party, little atmosphere. So I would like to go myself. If you go, let me know. We'll go together.
I've been to the Margaritaville in Myrtle Beach, where there's like a hurricane that's in the ceiling, and at like every half hour or so, it like the alarms go off and a tequila bottle comes out of the hurricane in the sky. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
How we
Wait,
not
what?
heard of this?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What? In Myrtle Beach?
Have we just decided what our next retirement?
You have piqued her interest and her thirst.
Right down the street.
That sounds like a ladies' night.
I guess maybe our next Carolina Retirement Planners our next team bonding trip will be to
a hurricane in the sky.
It's only 4 o'clock at the beach. We can go to the aquarium, and then
There's nobody that doesn't bond over tequila. Let me tell you that.
Yep, I'm a fan. That's my shot of choice. Okay, sorry, go on.
Okay. Well, it's good to see that Miranda and Patrick have joined us. Again, we always ask people, if we don't know you're here, but if you type into the comments and say hi, we always enjoy that. But I don't know. What do you think?
And Jamie has been to a Jimmy Buffett concert. I know that he was here recently. And Jameson, our Jameson it looks like he has been maybe to Margaritaville. And Pat has informed us that according to DNA testing, that Warren Buffett and Jimmy Buffett are not related.
Oh man.
So one of the things that we like to do is say, what day is today? And I think that, many of us know that it is Cinco de Mayo. But what other day is today that maybe is less fun, but more pertinent to our clients and, to our
It is.
community here.
Yep, it is World Password Day.
Now,
which is
that may
very-
not seem like a sexy day, but for all of you out there who have left 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D or 6 A's as your password all these years, it's probably time to make it a little hard to break into, before you find somebody's come in and taken all your bank account or changed draw a mustache on all your pictures or something,
Picture mustaches are the worst.
Yeah. So today's probably a great day, even if you have a good password, if you've had it for a while, probably a good time to go on and change all of your passwords, because they're probably compromised. Or it's a good habit to get into, to periodically go ahead and change your passwords.
There's hordes of Nigerian princes out there trying to hack you,
That's so sad. Let me ask you, what are your feelings on changing your password by just changing the last number of your current password to a different number and just doing that every so now? Or do you think you really got to rehaul the whole password?
I think it needs to be reasonably hard to break, so, and you can get these password managers that'll generate them for you. But I actually had a password hacked many years ago, and that hacked into my AOL account using the same password I'd used on a bulletin board at a university or something. I think whoever had it, it wasn't encrypted and they just used it. And that's another whole story. It was enough to make me quit AOL. They wouldn't let me back on, and all the stuff, because they'd scrolled and all the stuff I had was gone, and you couldn't talk to anybody. You had to fax them and wait 30 days till they replied. That was a long time ago, but
That is crazy. That's not fun. I do have to say I like Google, like the Google Chrome, because it will prompt me if it feels like any of my passwords have been compromised, and I will go and I'm like, oh snap, okay. So
it's always good to see Paula has come, and Jay and Carter are
and
here.
Megan are here. Megan's joined them too. So hey, Megan. Also Mary. And back in the day, Pat did get to see Jimmy at a bar and pub where he was just jamming. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. These
Well,
days,
maybe we should get going,
all right,
and then
Dad,
we can.
I know that we have an awesome PowerPoint today. I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. We've actually had a lot of it contributed by Jessica, who, if you recall from last week, just joined us, and she did a lot. I kind of chose some quotes and she made them look pretty, which is always nice. So now if I could, there we go. They're good. It came up. So you remember this guy. This is Warren Buffett. Does anybody know how old Warren Buffett is?
Oh, I do not.
He will turn
73.
He is 91.
I paid 95.
Whoa.
He will be 92 in August.
Very gracefully.
He has aged very gracefully.
Whoa.
And there's some interesting things about him that are worth just kind of pondering here. One of them is he did not become a billionaire until age 56, and 99% of the money he made came after his 50th birthday.
I think there might be lessons there, huh?
Yeah, there is a lesson here. Another part of this lesson is health is wealth. You've all heard the term health is wealth. Well, he was born in 1930, and the average age, life expectancy of someone then was 60 years. And if he had died then, he would only be worth $40 billion. But he's now lived to 91. He's now worth 100. Pardon?
4 billion.
4 billion. I'm sorry. Thank you. He actually is now worth 117, maybe 119 billion. Depends what website you go to, and heck, this time it depends whether it's the morning or the evening. I don't know. But saying health and wealth is literally true. Here's just a little history I dug out of some websites. When he was 21 years old in 2052, he was worth 20,000. 10 years later, he made his first million. About 18 years later, he had 25 million. No, 8 years later, he had 25 million. By age 86, when he was 56, he had $1 billion, and now he has about 117 or 119 billion. And
Wow.
his net worth did kind of this. In fact, remember, we're up way up somewhere here, but you can see this curve that we've all seen. And in fact, it's the compounding interest lesson that says the way to get rich is to start putting money away and just keep it there for a long time, and it just keeps compounding and getting bigger and bigger. Now, one thing about Warren is it wasn't as smooth a ride as you may see. This graph here shows it in 2008 thereabouts. You can see he fell from 62 down to 37 million. I mean, he lost a third of his wealth. And 2018 appears not to have been a very good year either. So there have been a lot of ups and downs in there. There's some more ups and downs if you go back even further where he lost big chunks. So the curve's there, but there are still some significant dents in that curve as we go along. I pulled out a couple other things that are kind of interesting. Again, he was born in 1930. Now, when he was 10, he and his family went to New York, and he actually got to visit the stock exchange. And at age 11, he bought his first shares of stock. I think he bought 5 shares, 3 for him, 2 for his sister. About that same time, he went to the library and he took out the book 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000, which you can now get pretty much free on Amazon, on the online now. And it actually showed you how you could start with $5, which in 1930 was, not a little bit of money, and start a business. I found some other interesting things. His first tax return he did when he was a teenager, and he deducted $35 for the bicycle and watch he used to deliver his papers and make revenue. So he was not only good at making money at an early age, he was really good at taking tax deductions. And when he was still a high school sophomore, he and some friends had started buying pinball machines, and they had pinball machines in 3 or more barber shops in town. Later, they sold the business at a profit. And just for the note, in 1956, soon after he got married, he went out and he bought a house in Omaha, and he still lives in that house. There it is with his wife his wife from then. So,
Wow.
he's a guy who's bought one house and he's lived in it all his life, even though I think it was 1988 or 86, he was the richest man in the world. And he used to joke he passed Bill Gates because he didn't spend as much, at that time. He's now number 5 or 6 right now in terms of wealth. But one of the things he's known for is his sayings. And I think we're going to go through some sayings because there's a lot of interesting stories there. Perhaps his best known saying is the rule number 1 is to never lose money. Rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. So we've all heard that. You want to be sure, you can speculation, you want to be sure you're safe. Value investing. I like this one. He says, someone sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree is today, end of the day. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. And that's kind of the same with wealth. People have wealth because people started saving and compounding it over the years. And a lot of things compound that way, including your shade tree.
Yeah, that's lovely.
He said, if you aren't willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. And this is a little graph some website had that I found interesting. This is if you own a stock for a period of time, what's the chance that you can lose money? If you own it for 1 month, there's a 38% chance you might lose money. They probably took a bunch of stocks and calculated it. 1 year, it's 25%. 5 years, it's 11%. By the time you get to 10 years, there's only a 5% chance that you can lose money. That's again.
Crazy. I just want to chime in. That's like crazy. I never even really thought about that.
No,
No, both of us over here are like, wow, that's an amazing
15 years.
Yes, sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt, but that's pretty good knowledge to know right there. Sorry.
It is interesting knowledge. Now you got to kind of think about it because a lot of companies have gone out of business completely, but it is kind of showing that, when you buy something, you make a good choice, there's going to be ups and downs. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. And again, the idea of quality investing. What I'm going to, in the long run, make money by buying really good companies, holding on and letting them go up than I am, buying the latest, I don't know, Bitcoin or who knows. He's not very big on Bitcoin. There was an interesting, about 3 days ago, he had a talk on it where they don't make anything. What are they worth? So I like this one. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. And, when you're out there buying things, if you don't know what you're doing, that kind of is, the risk is the unknown. The amount of risk you're taking is proportional to the unknown that you're buying into. The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect. And this is a good one too. Kind of highlights that it's kind of classic. People buy stuff. I see it now, the market's down. People are calling me, should I get out? Well, we kind of made a good choice to start. It's going up and down. You got to have the temperament to say, we're going to ride this out. But they've done studies where most people don't make as much money as the average because they've historically sold when it's down, and bought when it's up. So you got to have the temperament. You're probably not going to outsmart it as you're going to outlast it. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. And this is a good one, not only for you, but for many of us, even more important for our children and our grandchildren. Because I know personally, through all my jobs, but boy, maybe more than anyone, this one over the last 20 years, I've sunk many tens of thousands of dollars in myself to become smarter and more knowledgeable. And also I could help people and do this better. And so investing in yourself kind of starts with high school and college, but goes on, is important. You got any thoughts on anything you've invested in, Sam, that's been good? I took Strategic Coach. I took a whole bunch of classes over the years.
I'm currently doing a training, a year-long training with Darren Hardy, and it has been an excellent investment in my time and money. And one of the things that I can't remember who said this, but it was kind of like the rule of thumb is to reinvest 10% of your income into further developing yourself. And that will end up paying you dividends.
Yeah, we do. Even now with our staff, we send them to different events in all the way to Topeka to learn things that they need to know to be able to help us all better. So this is a good one. I've spent a lot of time every morning. I listen to podcasts and in the evenings, I listen to a lot of podcasts now that pump stuff in me. And it's all, that part is free. No matter how great the talent or efforts, some things just take time. For instance, you can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Oh, this is one of his better, more humorous ones too. But sometimes you just gotta take time.
I like the clip art that Jessica chose. I have to take a second and say I can definitely see the difference in quality of the PowerPoint between not that you don't do a great job, Dad, but I can definitely tell that there was a different hand here.
It'd be a whole lot boring, folks, if Jessica we hadn't hired her and she wasn't dressing this all up. She's our new director of first impressions, and you come in, you will meet her. But I just said, take this, make it look pretty, put some, and this is what she's come up with.
She did a great job. I love that clip art.
Today, people hold cash equivalents, feel comfortable. They shouldn't. They have opted for a terrible long-term asset, one that pays virtually nothing and is certain to depreciate in value. And you know, I know a lot of people sit on a lot of cash and it makes them feel good, but there are at least some things that can earn, and actually there's some new ones now that are pretty good that can earn at least something decent without taking any significant risk. But don't feel good, wow, I got all this cash, I'm great. And boy, lately it's falling in value even faster than it did in the past few years. This is a good one. Forecasts may tell you a great deal about the forecaster. They tell you nothing about the future.
Wait, you have one of those on your little.
I do have. I won't break
that
it
just
out.
remind me of you. Oh.
Yeah, you can go back into our go to Happy Half Hour, or go to our website, Carolina Retirement Planners. Go to events, Happy Half Hour, and there's a whole one on predicting, and we break out the crystal ball. But if you, as you often see on the news, oh, got all the predictions, what's going to happen? Well, here's his take on them. It tells you a lot about the predictor, but nothing about the future. When trillions of dollars are managed by Wall Streeters charging high fees, it will usually be the managers who reap the outsized profits, not the clients. You know, it reminds me of an old joke where the stockbroker in Wall Street took his son to work, and afterwards they walked down to the docks and there's all these yachts, and he says to his son, he says, see those yachts? Those are all the stockbrokers' yachts. And the son says, well, Dad, where's our customers, our clients' yachts? You know. Anyway, just kind of follows that. The best chance to deploy capital is when things are going down. Remember, buy when there's blood runs in the streets, and this may be one of those times. In fact, I think Warren Buffett has started buying again. He hasn't been buying for several years, but he now sees some values when things have fallen. Wall Street is the only place that people can ride to in a Rolls Royce to get advice from those who take the subway. So kind of another good one. And I think if you were in the subway, you probably saw that Wall Street sign when the subway pulls up to the Wall Street stop. I'm pretty sure. It says, we simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Sort of the same thought. When should you buy? You buy when things are falling. You buy when everyone's worried. That's how a lot of people have made their money. That's when you, that's not the time to say, oh my gosh, I got to get out. This is another one that's one of my very favorites. It's only when the tide goes out that you discover who's been swimming naked. So and you know, kind of
You ever
exemplify.
That's so funny. You ever see those like funny little memes of like, people standing in the ocean and then they're going down, going down, going down, and then they come up and it's just like their butts, because that's what that
Yeah.
is. Yep.
There is I forget, there was a story about that. Maybe Mayberry RFD story. No, it was it was a story where a guy told he went out at night to this thing, and there was a couple there, an older couple, and they were kind of up to their necks in water. And he came back and he told them about it. He said, well, that's because they were sitting down. They were naked because the water there was only 3 feet deep. So they weren't standing up. They were sitting down. I think it was anyway. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. This is one that, is a lesson for us. Reputation's long and hard to build, but it only takes a little thing to ruin it. So I like this one too. Predicting rain doesn't count. Building an ark does. I had some trouble with it, so I had to sketch it in. But you think about it, the way you want to prepare for the unpredictable. You want to be ready for the crash. You want to be ready for the flood. When your financial life, that's why when we set things up for people, we often set up offense, defense, both, because we know some days we're going to need.
Did you artwork this? What happened here? I mean, like what just happened over here?
Something came in and wiped out. Something came in and wiped out a part of this.
It just makes me laugh. I mean, we're over here. I'm like, oh, did you try to artwork?
That part is missing, and I kind of now it came back. Never mind. So there, it's perfect.
I love it so much. It makes me so happy. I love it.
I love the artwork.
Yeah, it's so great. I love it.
Yeah. Beware of geeks bearing formulas. That's another good one. And this is the last one because we're up against the hour. It is also, I think, my favorite. Maybe the naked swimming is good too, but don't ask the barber whether you need a haircut. And of course, the moral here is, you ever met a barber that didn't think you need a haircut? It's just, it's not going to happen. So that is a couple, just a reminder, those of you, if you go to CarolinaRetirementPlanners.com, you can find our website, lots of good stuff there. If you don't know us, it would be a great place to go. There's several videos on there. If you go to events, under events, you can actually find all the happy half hours. How many is this now, Amy?
This is number 92. 92.
92. Wow.
And if you want to chat, you got a question, especially if you're a client, you usually know anybody can call and ask for a visit or a question. But if you want to make it simple, you go to Carolina15.com. You can book a 15-minute phone call, talk about whatever questions you may have. Just no cost obligation, just an easy way to get some questions answered. So, okay. Carolina15.com. So that's enough that's our hope we found it entertaining, educational, inspirational, or at least a good excuse to spend 15 minutes with your favorite drink. Sam, what are we up to now? What do we finish with?
We are doing the wine drawing. So each week we raffle off 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. And all you have to do to get your name in my raffle is, if you are a member of Facebook, you just click that you are coming to this Facebook event. And if you share it with a friend, we will give you an additional entry. If you are on our email list, we will send out an email each week letting you know what our topic is. And if you respond to that email, we will get you in here. And if you forward that email to a friend, we will get you in here again. But you will have to let us know if you've emailed it to a friend, and we will take your word for it. We are not that technologically savvy to know if you have forwarded it.
And we trust you. We trust you.
And we trust you. So
I like to trust. Trust is good.
our winner of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door is
Drum roll, drum roll.
K and Ken L.
Oh,
Congratulations, Kay and Ken. You are our winners this week. Everybody who did not win, please continue to enter. We love to give away wine, and we will continue to do so as long as you keep on entering.
Except for my mom. My mom doesn't, she's no.
But please keep coming. Please keep coming.
And hello to all of you
Oh,
we didn't get
she'll
to
come.
talk about.
No worry
but
for her.
we'll get you next week, and we will see you next Thursday next Thursday we have a special guest. Next Thursday, Sam and I are actually in Kansas City studying how to pay less in taxes, especially on IRAs and things with the country CPA.
Ed Slot.
Ed Slot. And so we are going to have Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to be talking about insurance strategies, retirement insurance, Medicare supplements. He did this, I think, last year sometime. Very popular, very good. And you could be sure to ask him about he and his parents' side business. They're nuts about it, you know.
They are. Yes, they are nuts about it, and it's quite delicious.
It is quite delicious. So I think we showed you the bag. We let it out of the bag a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, boy, I'm good with puns today. Anyway, we will see you all then. So we'll see you in 2 Thursdays, but you'll see Amy and company next week. Until then, enjoy.
Oh, it's got Mountain Dew here.
Doing the do.
Doing the do. Yeah, we didn't talk about what we were drinking, but yeah, doing the do. But bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.